There were no histories written. The records they kept long gone, who knows where. But some of the things that they built are still in service. They have dams built by the Romans, still in service in Spain, where it's dry, in the dry areas of Spain. When the Roman Empire fell apart, Spain fell into small countries, Castile, Aragon, Catalonia, I've forgotten all of them. But those dams were so important. It's an arid region. They needed water desperately. The dams were so important that these small countries, and the Roman civilization disappeared, these small countries maintained them and rehabilitated them. Every century or so, they did what we're trying to do at Center Hill, Wolf Creek. As you're doing what those people did after the original builders were gone. I guess all the builders are gone. Anybody here work on the design and construction of Percy Priest or Barclay? Really? What's your name, sir? Oh yeah. All right. You're the last survivors of that generation, then, who built them. The rest of us now still around. We're maintaining them and rehabilitating, making them last. And we're going to have to do this. What we did at Wolf Creek, we did it in '78. We're doing it again. We'll have to do it again in a century, because water will always find an easy way out. Same thing at all the other dams. They've got to be maintained, or they will go. Be maintained and rehabilitated when necessary. So what you're doing is very important. And as far as the Corps is concerned, you'll always be here. Even if the United States disappears, you'll be here, because somebody has to take care of those dams. Otherwise, we lose them. So there are your monuments.
Leland?
Yeah, Billy?
Earlier this year, when the Corps of Engineers announced the publication of this book, I called them and got a copy, and I donated it to the Dixon County Public Library.
Oh, yeah.
So it's been in the Dixon County Public Library now for 2 or 3 months, maybe longer.
Yeah, well, some people find some use for it. But it is awfully interesting stuff. I thought when I wrote it, and I read it again for this meeting, and it's still interesting. Not what I wrote, but what they had to say when they were involved in these situations that they were in, the crisis they were in. And there's no way to preserve. I don't know how we're going to preserve. Right now, Chief's office has a historian working on the war in Iraq. What the Corps of Engineers did there. Real problem, because they got a server with all the information on it that they can't open. They can't get into it. So here you have all the emails and all the reports on the server, electronic, nothing on paper. Until they get that server open and working, they've got nothing. They've lost that war in Iraq. So I don't know how you all handle your stuff. I hope it works better than that. Yeah. Anybody else have a question?
I have an observation.
Yeah.
In the development of the Cumberland River system, when I was working, I went back and read some of the history. I can't remember the details per se, but there was a high dam that was projected with the Tennessee-Kentucky border downstream from Nashville. And the governors, as I understood it, went to Washington and opposed it based on the fact that they didn't want to inundate valuable farmlands and all that kind of stuff. So the run of the river system became authorized just for navigation, not
Right.
flood control. And as we all know now, she done flooded. But the thing about it is, when I was in college in the 50s, they had finished the lock and dam, and then they authorized the power plant. The thing that I'm leading to is this old Hickory and Cheatham and all, and because of that political screw up, adding a power plant with no water to run it, a lot of debris behind it, and all that kind of stuff. In this May flood a year or so ago, that was not brought to the attention of the public that Old Hickory and others are not flood control. and they're just running the river.
Yeah.
I thought maybe that might have given the poor a better image. The public understood.
Yeah, it's true. Well, the only way, and I'm not going to let my case, I'm going to do that. Thank you. Anything else?
How old were you then?
Huh? 75. All right, well, I hope you can get to the Belleville, we'll stop and look at the little water boat right next to it. It's the old Coast Guard station. And I've got a new book out, coming out on that next March. Done by myself, without any funding from the Coast Guard. Done as a volunteer thing. All right, thank you all.
I want to present Dr. Leland Johnson with a certificate of appreciation for all of his research and his distinguished work for the Corps of Engineers during this period.
Turn that around this way.
I'm afraid you're gonna run a picture center in the next issue, aren't you? Gonna run a picture from the center in the next issue, yeah, yes.
He especially liked that picture of you and his granddaughter.
Anyway, if you want to see it, I'll be glad to give it to you.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. I want to briefly introduce Hank Shelton.